Hello, I'm RetroJules. Update 5.0 on paper was an amazing update, but they didn't tell us about the little extras that we were going to get. The little extras that made us feel like we were going to be playing a completely different game. I think I'm going to take you for a nice, calm walk in the British countryside, and let's talk about Update 5.0. It was never going to be a smooth ride with a big update like this, but little did I know what a rough start it was going to be. So my first experience of Update 5.0 was the fact that the whole of Tuesday was a non-tanking day because the update took forever. And it was a big update. There's a lot in this update, so I'm not surprised that wargaming had a few issues, and it was down for the day. And I stayed up to midnight on Tuesday and it still wasn't ready. So Wednesday, I had loads of Xbox messages. Retro, what's happened to our clan? Our clan names have changed. Oh. So I went straight onto Wargaming's website and had a look at my clan, and it was these random letters. And there were two clans that we have associated with the channel on Xbox, and both of them had been randomised. And of course, when I looked into the patch notes, it basically stated that now that PlayStation and Xbox were together, that clans couldn't be duplicated. Which meant that if any clans were duplicated, that the original person that registered the clan basically kept it. And any clan registered after that as a duplicate was randomised. I worked hard to get the retro clans. I originally got retro with a 0. That was easy. But that clan filled up very quickly, and so I then needed a retro. I traced the owners of retro on Xbox. It only had one owner, and that was Kid Razor. So I contacted Kid Razor and his dad, Razorback, and I said, look guys, I just wondered if you would let me have your clan, because I've got a channel, I'm RetroJules, and do you know what? Without a bat of an eyelid, they said, absolutely, you can have it, it's for a great cause. They renamed their clan. I then had Retro with an O, and I also had Retro with a 0. They're gone. I can't get them back, and it's painful for me because the two clans mean so much to me, and I know they mean a lot to you too, because A, it's my name directly, and then secondly, it's you guys and your association with the channel, and I know you're proud to carry Retro in front of your name, and it's gone. So that was not a great start. In fact, it was quite stressful for me because I didn't really know what was going on. So now the Retro clan with an O is now Retro with a 7 in the middle. It's better than nothing. Doesn't look great, but it is what it is. And unfortunately, the clan that had the 0 has been disbanded. Now, I didn't know about this, and had I known, I'd have made a screenshot of the people that were in it. But luckily, Zapranoth 1986 is on the case, and he's going to buy a fresh clan, which is going to be Jules with a 3 in it. So any of you guys out there who had the 0 clan and you've lost it completely, please contact Zapranoth 1986 and he'll happily invite you into the Jules clan. In the meantime, I have sent a ticket to Wargaming and I've had a chat with Minto Vimto, and I'm just trying to see if there's something they can do, because the clan names mean more when you've got a YouTube channel, I think, and I'm just going to see if there's something they can do. Luckily for you guys who support the channel on PlayStation, your clans have remained unchanged, and you've still got Retro with a 0 and you've still got Jules, so that's a good thing. So that was that. So I kind of got all that dealt with, and I thought, right, now it's time to go into the game for the first time and have a look. The garage came up. Oh, the garage. what has wrestling got to do with tanking in any shape or form apart from fighting, maybe? I'm not into sports at all. I play tanks because I quite like the sort of the military aspect. I quite like the historical aspect. I quite like military vehicles. That's why I play World of Tanks. I don't play World of Tanks because of wrestling. I never played World of Tanks because of robots. I never played World of Tanks because of Frankentanks. But actually, in the grand scheme of things, the mercenaries weren't that bad compared to wrestling. And I don't mind the fact that there is wrestling content for the ops. That's, people can choose whether they want to do that or not. But the fact that you've got a wrestling ring in what looks like Xbox 360 startup graphics, it's just, I don't know. It was just not I nearly turned the game off. And I was going to go straight upstairs and make a rant video. And I don't make rant videos anymore because they don't do the game any good. And even though people really love to get behind them and support them, and you get all the game haters coming in, it's just not a positive thing to do. And it was a knee-jerk reaction, so I thought, come on Retro, grow up. Just get on with the game and see what the game's like. But I can imagine, if I felt like that, I can imagine a lot of players probably just went WTF and turned the game off. I don't think that the garage should have changed, really, or there should have been an option. Maybe if you paid your gold and said, yes, I accept the ops and I would like to have these wrestling tanks, please, and these wrestling crews, then, you could then have the option of having the garage. But for people who just want to get on with tanking, then I would have quite liked the option of a normal garage. It just seemed a shame that this update was all about graphical improvement as well, and suddenly this Xbox 360 wrestling ring was chucked in the middle of the garage, and it's just really annoying. I know we've only got it for 2 months, and that's the good thing about it, but I know it's already getting on my nerves with these stupid idiots around the ring holding the boards up and clapping and cheering, and I don't even know who these so-called stars are. I don't follow sport. I don't follow wrestling. Who are these people? Are they massive in America? Are they huge? And for you, as a tanker, is it great to have them in the game? Is it like, if Arnold Schwarzenegger was to have a tank and you could have his voice in the crew, that could possibly get me quite excited in a sort of random way. I could appreciate that. But wrestlers, wrestling, isn't that just like where grown-ups get covered in baby oil, get dressed up and then pretend to fight to a sort of choreographed act? Is that what wrestling is? You'll have to excuse me, I've not watched wrestling since I was a child. My recollections of that were Big Daddy and giant haystacks, giant fat people who eat too much getting in the ring and sort of elbowing each other. That's kind of how I remember wrestling. I'm sure it's changed. I'm sure it is very skillful and it's probably highly competitive. And do correct me if I'm wrong. So this was not a good start for me to update 5.0. The clans had disappeared. My clan members and subscribers were not happy. Nobody has messaged me and said they are happy with the wrestling topic, theme, and I certainly don't like it. And as a start, it was like, how is this relevant to our game going into the future? Not a great start. So what was really a shame is the fact that actually update 5.0 is packed with really good, amazing stuff. It's just that the wrestling side of things will divide the community. And the fact that it's pushed right under your nose as a wrestling ring in the garage which you can't get rid of is going to alienate some players, and they are going to think, do you know what, I do not want to play this. I do not want this as my garage. And it sounds stupid because there's a lot of really great content in the background, but It's like the cover of a book. Sometimes you buy a book purely because the cover, or you might see the cover and go, ooh, look at that cover, and then read what it's about. If the cover's not good to a book, you probably won't even pick it up in the first place. And the other trouble is, with the garage, because it is the front of house and you spend quite a bit of time in your garage tinkering around, if I recommend this game to people, and I like to do that, if people say, oh, you know, I'm looking for an interesting game, well, absolutely, World of Tanks, you know, that will take up a lot of your time. It's a really tactical, in-depth game, but I would not recommend it right now because I would feel embarrassed if they were to download the game, try and get into it and go, what's it got to do with wrestling? And I would be like, well, do you know what? I don't know, because it's got nothing to do with wrestling whatsoever. So that's another thing about the image that it portrays, is like, would you play this game as a new person because it's got wrestling in it? Oh, I don't know. Anyway, the thing is, update 5.0, if you can see through the wrestling bit, which really does mar the game, update 5.0 is excellent. It's paving the way for the future. It's giving us the things that we've been asking for forever, for ages, and it is brilliant. It is brilliant. If only they didn't go down the wrestling line, or they warned us that they might, or that if they did the wrestling a couple of months down the line and just gave us update 5.0 as it stands, because when you read the patch notes, it was super exciting. When the update went live, all that super excitement just disappeared because of the wrestling. Had that wrestling not been there, the excitement would have just been there. New battle variants have been added to maps to give a bit of variety to the gameplay. Variety to the gameplay. Brilliant, love it, bring it on. XP changes. When you're shooting an enemy that is spotted or tracked by another player, you will now get 100% of the XP. You always used to get 100% of the damage, but now you get 100% of the XP. Brilliant for passive spotting. Brilliant for scouts. Brilliant for everybody. And now that the bushes all work and there's going to be more bushes, even better. Even more tactical as a game. Fantastic. The British tank destroyers have been rebalanced and buffed because they've recognised that they are no longer competitive in the game. And there's so many other tanks that are like that. But that is brilliant that that has been recognised and they've done something with that. I don't know how much difference that's made to you guys who play them. Do let me know. But that is great. They've removed the base capture delay. Now that's good and that's bad. It's great because you would capture the base and then you'd have to wait 5 painful seconds, and sometimes that base could get reset or it was just a painful 5 seconds. So that is great. When you capture the base, you capture the base. And it also tells you how many tanks are in the base, not just the maximum of 3. It'll tell you how many are in there. You will know where the enemy are and how many of them are in there, doing a filthy cap. But also, the downside for me in this is the fact that the game now ends really abruptly and really quickly. And what I loved about the end of a game, and especially the end of a clutch game, is that you would get the thumbs up, the good game, great shot. You would get all those last little bits that people would do because they really appreciated the game. And now there's nothing. It's like having dinner at night and not saying thank you, and just getting up from the table and going to watch TV when your partner, your family have spent the whole afternoon preparing that dinner for you. It seems to me really, really rude and really abrupt, and I don't like that. Love the fact that base capture is exactly as it should be. Don't like the fact that the game ends so abruptly and nobody can show their appreciation for some of the players' efforts that they've put in to the game. Maps. Oh, maps. Improved graphics to certain maps. I've not yet seen those maps, and I've got an Xbox One, so I don't know if I'll appreciate it as much as perhaps the Xbox One X players will, or the new generation of PS4 players will appreciate. So I don't know if I'm going to see that, but do let me know if they look that much better. But I didn't expect graphics to be improved this early on. I thought that graphics would wait until the new generation of console had come out, and I didn't expect anything to happen for a year or two. So I am absolutely thrilled that Wargaming are getting onto the fact that the graphics need updating, they need improving, they're looking tired. I do hope that the next step is to make the tanks look super amazing as well, because I do believe that we probably spend more time looking at the enemy tanks than we possibly do the scenery. I would hope it's that way round. I am guilty of looking around at the scenery, and it has cost me games before because that's just who I am. But the tanks are the focus, and I hope they're the next things that get a bit of attention too. And a new map. Sunset Coast. It's fantastic. I've had a look at it. It's a nice map. It's a reskin of Airfield, as we know, but it's a new map. It's kind of one of these sort of symmetrical, undulating, hilly maps with no real features in it, which are maps I'm not generally over keen on. Dukla Pass, you know, the sort of Eastern European maps tend to be a little bit like that. But it's a new map, and I love the fact that we're going to get a new map. And I hope that perhaps they kick out some of the older maps now, which I don't think work anymore, and also maps that'll be more suited to the surely up-and-coming wheeled vehicles. I really like the new op system. I like the fact that you pay gold to take part and get all the goodies, because I like the fact that it's an option. Because for me, as a very casual, laid-back tanker, I'm not interested in the wrestling tanks whatsoever. So, I don't care if I get them. And even though you can still get them without paying your gold, I'm really not bothered about all the goodies in between. In fact, I think Wargaming recently, and definitely during Mercenaries, were probably giving too much away. Too much, too regularly. All the boosts and everything else. Whether they were just trying to sort of accelerate people's progress in the game, I don't know. And that certainly worked. But I just think they were just giving things away willy-nilly. And I think it's quite nice to earn them. I don't really get involved in how Wargaming earn money. Quite frankly, I don't care. I am a player. And as a player, I want to load the game up, enjoy the game, play it, and enjoy the community. How they make money in the background is up to them. It's their business model, and I'm not going to get involved in that. But, he says, I think this is quite a good idea. I would imagine, I don't know the ins and outs, but you commit to paying your gold to take part in the season, so you get all the goodies on the way, and I'm sure that all the goodies will add up to more than the gold that you've paid. I don't know whether you earn the same amount of gold, i.e. so it actually physically pays for itself or not, and you know, you've got that period of time where you think, Mark, well, I've paid real money to take part in this, I need to get this done, so I need to play regularly. Which is brilliant for populating the servers and keeping people playing. It's also great if you're not bothered about taking part in the ops and you just want to play tanks, because it doesn't cost you anything. This is a free-to-play game, and you can play this game absolutely free, and Wargaming do not push down your throat that you have to spend money. They never do that, but it's an option for you to pay money to get all your little boosts and enhancements, i.e. like a premium account. So I like this idea. I think it's a good idea, and it's an optional idea. However, it probably means that maybe you're not going to get as many rewards in the game like you used to, with all the XP boosts and silver boosts and all the rest of it. But I don't think that's a bad thing. And if you want them, pay your gold and you can have them. And of course, really, what this update is all about is hello PlayStation players, and how are you? It's all about us all together in the game, crossplay and cross platoons as well, which I didn't think we would get at this stage. I haven't experimented with it yet because I've only played the game a couple of times and just haven't had a chance to get properly involved yet. But I think it's amazing that we're all in there together. The cynical people, the game haters, etc, have been saying, well, the game's dying, so that's why they've got everybody together to make it look more populated and make the game look bigger. Well, it's the same size as it was before, but we're all in the same place doing it. We see each other fighting, we can see each other's names out there, we know who's Xbox, we know who's PlayStation. I think that is truly amazing, absolutely brilliant, and it's how it should be, and I love it. Update 5.0 is quite simply an excellent step forward. Update 5.0 was combining us as tankers and uniting us in a game moving forward. It's just a bit unfortunate that, in my opinion, that wargaming introduced wrestling at the same time, because that then divides the community in an update that was supposed to bring us all together. And it quite possibly still has, but I just think the timing was wrong, and I think the content was wrong. But overall, there's a lot of really, really good stuff in Update 5.0, and I am very, very happy with it. I've just got to get used to this horrible garage, and it's going to be a long 2 months because I hate it that much, I'll be straight with you. But it doesn't change the game, it doesn't change the gameplay, and it doesn't change the brilliant enhancements that they've made. So this is my opinion of Update 5.0. I think it's an excellent update, which has just been marred slightly by the introduction of non-tank related content again, which makes you question sometimes what the developers are really thinking and if they're in touch with the community. But what do you think of Update 5.0? I am so interested in your experiences of it, what you think of it. Has the wrestling ruined it for you? Or do you embrace that and think this is great, it's just something really new, it's really novel, it's really funny, I can't wait to get those tanks? And what do you think of all the enhancements that 5.0 has brought along? Do you really think this paves the way for the game going forward? Does it give you confidence in the developers as to where they're taking this game? I think strategically, mechanically, it's a brilliant move forward. As to the type of content, it's got to be questionable, hasn't it? Really looking forward to reading your comments and what you think. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope you've enjoyed what I've had to say and my thoughts on it. Keep safe, keep wrestling, tanking, sorry, and I'll see you soon.